But I went home. I did some local modeling in Venezuela, and I kept being scouted by other agencies in Milan, in Japan, in Miami. That's how I ended up going to Miami. Uh, and it was my decision. Like I was already, 21 when I returned to say, okay, I am ready. I am recovered from this very uncomfortable situation, and I can
Right.
defend myself. And I moved to Miami.
Made it through the bad time. So now I gotta get mine, get mine. Gotta weather the storm, gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm, I gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm. Okay. One day we gon' get on. Talk to 'em. You ain't got a choice. You
Welcome
gotta
to
know
Bailey
it's
and Buck
me.
Unplugged, where we talk about sports, entertainment, and mental health in support of the Kennedy Kids Foundation. If you're struggling with mental health, we encourage you to speak up and get help. A great place to start is 988. That's the free crisis prevention lifeline. Or you can check out the resources tab at kennedykids.org. If you are in an absolute emergency, please dial 911. Either way, we want you to know that you are not alone and that you don't have to struggle, and speak up, get help. There are resources available to you, and we are here to support you. If you're new around here, I want to introduce you to our host. I am Misty Buck. I am an author and a mental health and performance coach. And my co-hosts are Robert Bailey. He is the president of Rosenhaus Sports, the president of Kennedy Kids Foundation. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time college national champion. He's an NFL record holder, and he's an ESPY winner. And we are also joined by Bailey Brooks Masburn. She is a celebrity wedding and event planner, a former NFL cheerleader, and the executive director of the Kennedy Kids Foundation. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bailey and Buck Unplugged. We are so excited and so grateful to have today's guests on. We have world-renowned international fashion model Penelope Sosa joining us today to talk about all things mental health and wellness. We have not had a model on before, I don't think, so we are so excited to hear things from her perspective and her world in all of her amazing years in the business and in life in general, right? So, Penelope, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Misty. I am so glad and I'm so excited that I am the first model.
You
I'm the
are the
first one
first. We've
on this
had
podcast.
singers. Yes, we've had singers. We've had actors. We've had football players. We've had baseball players. We've had the
Athletes.
everything. We've had even Hollywood celebrities, but you
Wow.
are our first model and
So,
partly one of those.
so
Go ahead.
thrilled about this. I'm very thrilled.
Yeah. So, one of the reasons you are our first is because you are a dear friend of mine.
Yes,
And
I am.
yes, and we've known each other for 20 plus years. And
It is
when I
true.
met you, you were modeling back then, right? You were,
I still am, even though
yeah,
I
I
am a
know. What
older
what
model now.
what age did you start modeling, Pepe?
I started modeling when I was 15. That's around the
15.
time the models get developed and everything. We get
Yeah,
scouted around that time. It's like the right time to start, to get
yeah.
developed and to have like start building portfolio and stuff. That's about the time that you get in the
And
business.
and so that leads me into this question.
Okay.
At 15 years old,
Uh-huh.
you're brought into an industry that sometimes is great, sometimes it's sketchy. It's like, who's the first scout that finds you? Are they a sketchy scout or are they the real deal? You got to kind of go through that. Then you go
Well,
through, go ahead.
I
Tell
would
me if
say
I'm,
that let me just tell you from how my experience was,
yeah.
because this is back in Venezuela. I was 15 years old. That's where I grew up, where I was born. And back during that time, it worked like your parents took you to scout day from agencies. Or
Ah,
in the way that I was discovered, let's just say, I signed up for a modeling course. Like I wanted to get to know how to walk and how to like do my makeup. Like my mom wanted to maybe let me go into this industry, but like to have a little knowledge about how to do things. And in the first class that I went on, the owner of this school calls my mother and says, like she has some potential. She's tall. She has, some wood. She has the characteristics, the qualities that maybe are required to be a model. And
Right.
I think that we should take you to Caracas because I am not from Caracas. Caracas is the capital. And
Right.
that's where the modeling agencies were, like the serious, the big shot agencies were. And that's where you get scouted to go internationally, honestly. But during that time, I had to be taken to Caracas, which was less than 2 hours away driving. And my mom said, "Yeah, sure, let's just take her to Caracas." And they took me like a week or a couple of weeks after I was in Caracas. And the owner of the agency said, "Yeah, I want to sign her and I want to develop her. And maybe I want to present her to international agencies." But I was still in high school. At 15, you're still in high school. You don't know what's going on. But my mom was behind me and by my side at all times. Like she was taking care of decisions, whatever I was supposed to do,
Right.
jobs, photo shoots, pictures, and like even like the way my eyebrows will be shaped. Like it's crazy, but all
Right.
this detail goes into big decision making. But my mom was the one taking decisions. So I was not left alone 1 second while I was a
Wow.
minor. Because you become legal at 18 in Venezuela, but in the US is 21. I was
Right.
still a minor when I started traveling abroad. I went to Paris. I lived in Paris for a period of time. I went to Milan. I went to London. I was in the US. I was in the Caribbean shooting commercials, TV commercials, but I was still in the US legal time. I was still a minor because I was 18, 19, you know what I mean? Like, but
Wow.
at
Wow.
all this time, my mom was the one making decisions for me until I was 18. But she was either with me or she drove me there or she was waiting for me at the end of the casting. If I was in a fashion show, she was all the time with me. Like she did not let me just go into this industry by myself. She was
Right.
very protected, let's just say. She was very serious about this. She always thought, well, if this is supposed to be a serious industry, why not I just supervise what goes on when you're working, when you're at casting, you know?
So so do you remember the first year you guys split? Like, do you remember like the first time she stopped coming, whether you're 18 or whatever? Do you remember what that first year was like?
Because it was my 18th birthday and she said, look, I don't have to come no more. If you want me to, I'll come with you. But I am tired, like driving back and forth between Maracay and Caracas the whole 2, 3, 4 times a week. I'm tired. Maybe I had, relatives in Caracas. I could stay at their places. And she said, you can spend the night here. You can stay a couple of nights there. Like we have family members that you can sleep over and then go back home. And that's how we did it. I was like, no, no worries. I can just stay here and do castings. My mom always told me, like, if you have a feeling in your gut that something's not right, it probably isn't. So follow your gut feeling. You know how to differentiate
Right.
something that is not right and something that is right. If you don't feel that something is correct, you just leave. You don't have
Right.
to give explanations to anyone. You just say, I didn't feel right. I wasn't comfortable. I saw many things happening that didn't make me comfortable. So I just took off. My mom always told me, like, be sure that you know how to differentiate the good and the bad. So
Right.
always follow the good. Even if you have to make people uncomfortable or upset, just protect yourself at all times. It's very
So
important.
so you know, it sounds like your mom did an amazing job, but
She did.
still
She did.
still there's a lot of there's a lot of questionable. It's not perfect out there, right?
No,
You're not a perfect person. So at what
no.
point in your career did you really have like something that affected your mental health? Maybe that made you sad. What
Wow.
happened in your career, and how did you
I,
get through it?
well, I was in Paris. I was sent off to Paris. Um, My mom always made as a condition. She made a condition of she can go anywhere, but she first has to finish high school. When she graduates high school, she is ready to go somewhere. I would like her to go to college, but if she starts working and making a career by herself, I cannot make her quit this career that she's building her own and then go back to school because it makes no sense. If she's making
Right.
a name for herself, then I did a good job. Like I created this path for her to take and build maybe a business with her own name, you know? Um, and I was sent to Paris. I was 18, I think I was close to being 19. And the owner of the agency that was famous for like getting these younger girls in trouble, he did try to like make a really bad mood on me, and I had to push him away, and like I had to like I yelled at him. I kind of like had a nervous breakdown, and he said, "You're gonna regret this," and I said, "No, I am not." And I run out of this party. It was like a get together at somebody's place, and you know I wasn't invited like, oh, come to this party, you will become famous. I they were like, oh God, there's this party, there's other models coming, there's other people from the industry, maybe you want to come, maybe you want to hang out. That's how you get to meet people in Paris and other cities. You're so young, you should come and see how it goes. And the owner of the agency, it was the
Wow.
least that I expected for this to happen to me. He has a reputation, but I never had the chance to have him close. And he tried to like, cross this line, and I did not let that happen. So within a week or two, I broke my contract and I flew back home. And
Oh wow.
but it was because I said, if this is like this, if this industry is like this, I do not want to know
Right.
one more minute of this industry. I just don't want to deal with this. But I went home. I did some local modeling in Venezuela, and I kept being scouted by other agencies in Milan, in Japan, in Miami. That's how I ended up going to Miami. Uh, and it was my decision. Like I was already, 21 when I returned to say, okay, I am ready. I am recovered from this very uncomfortable situation, and I can
Right.
defend myself. And I moved to Miami. That's how I ended up being going to Miami.
What have you crossed paths with that same guy since you've been in the business?
Yes, I did. I did. It was like, I don't know. This is that happened in 1996. I'm talking about the about a long time ago, like almost 30
Right.
years ago that this happened to me. This is 29 years ago. And I think it was in 2006, 2007. I was in New York. I was based off New York. And there was this big party. I think it was Cirque du Soleil coming into Manhattan. It was the first show, and they have always like a big opening party. And some guy is staring at me, and I knew who he was exactly.
Oh,
And I said, I cannot believe this guy.
right.
I have him right straight staring at me, straight at me. And a really good friend of mine, a guy, I'm like, I cannot believe this is the guy. Remember when I told you that in Paris this happened to me? He's like, yeah, where is this? Where is he? And I'm like, he's right there. He's standing right in front of me. I confronted him, and he says, oh, have I met you before? And I'm like, yeah, you try to like, you try to like make a really bad move on me. And I pushed you away. Probably you were so drunk or high and you don't remember, but I did not let you get your way. And the
Wow.
guy
Good
goes,
for you. Good for
the
you.
guy goes like this, and my friend goes like, she's gonna hit him or something. He was afraid that I
Uh,
was gonna start a fight on this place. And I'm like, you look so powerless and insignificant with all this crap that you surround yourself with. You're alone here. I could do whatever I want to you, but you're just so insignificant. You still have an
Yes.
agency and you have all this power, and I'm not afraid of you. You're a piece of crap. I hope you go to hell.
Yeah.
I told him, I hope you go to hell. Even
Wow.
worse, I hope you live hell on earth before you
Wow.
die.
Wow. You
Oh,
were
over
that
now.
that had a real profound effect on you. That
Yes.
But you got your
Absolutely.
moment. You got your
Yes.
moment as an older lady, older
It's
model,
crazy. It's
much more
crazy.
confident.
Like the universe brought it and served it on a silver plate. Like this is how you are going to get it out of your chest at some point. It
Right.
it, it was 10 years after. 10 years after. Exactly. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
You're like
unbelievable.
unbelievable, that you got a chance to get back face to face with something you dealt with.
Yes.
Do you remember any of the tools that you used during the first when it first happened? Like how did you calm yourself down? How'd you get through it? Did you cry?
Well,
Did you talk to
oh,
your mom? How
yeah.
did you
I cried. I ran off that place. I got a cab. I remember cabs were really expensive in Paris and barely had some money back then to pay for a cab because I was afraid that if I took the metro, the subway, like something worse was going to happen to me. I was
right,
just shaking and I was crying and I called my mom and I told her like I'm going back home. Like this is happening to me. Like, something really like awful happened to me. Don't worry, I'm okay. Nothing
right,
physical happened to me, but I am not okay. Like I didn't explain to her because she was going to go in a real bad mental breakdown.
right,
So I decided I wasn't going to tell her much, that I will tell her in person. So I started moving things so I could go back home. And I called my boyfriend at a time and I went off on him and he said, just tell me his name and show me a picture of him. I'll make sure he remembers you for the rest of his life. And I'm like,
oh,
it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But he went on doing things like this. He misbehaved around minors and girls that were like vulnerable at some point in their careers. He
right,
he kept he kept on doing it. He actually got caught when the Me Too movement. I think his name was mentioned and they went after him and he had fled his apartment in Paris and then caught
oh,
him on a flight going to, I don't know, Senegal or something.
wow,
And yeah, and he went to jail. I think he even got killed in jail. I have to double check this. My phone is now
holy
on, so I
cow,
cannot I cannot show you what happened to him. But I'll probably like send you a link so you can read his
Penelope. That
story.
is, first of all, I'm so sorry that it happened to you, but for you to be a part of that, because remember you were so strong, but how many girls didn't
No,
have your
oof.
strength? How many girls
They
did not have your strength to run out of that room?
There's so many girls that don't have the strength. They feel like if they don't confront this person or if they say no, they feel like their careers are going to be
Going to be
ruined
over.
for forever. And no, mine wasn't. I took a break. I went home. I was home with my family. I did some TV in Venezuela. And I said, probably Paris or London or Milan are not for me. Maybe I'm not
Right,
made for that. But then I moved to Miami and I made myself a home in Miami. Uh, I lived the American dream. Like I bought my first apartment, my second apartment. Like I started building a home, a
right,
career, a home, a base. And I felt like I belonged. And I had the strength to say, yeah, that time I didn't let this affect me because it wasn't anything physical. He tried and I rejected him. You know what I mean? Like it
right.
didn't go far. But you know how many girls have let this go far
So
and it
far. Right.
affected them for the rest of their life. I know that
Yeah.
there is plenty of girls out there. And I can't tell you one or two or three cases. There's a few cases that I have heard of, but they never said anything. I think that they actually dared to say something a few
Yeah.
years ago when the Me Too movement started, breaking out of everywhere. Like people was afraid. They were afraid. They were saying, oh, she's just so difficult. She's
Right.
just so difficult to work with. And that's how they labeled you. And they will turn you down for jobs or for important castings because she's just so difficult to work with. Because they just didn't want to deal with you saying, oh, this, that, and the other. And you were just labeled as difficult.
Right.
It's crazy because you're correct and you don't let these
Happen.
situations happen to you. You're difficult.
You're
I mean, that's
difficult.
how it was. This is
That's
how
the
it was
mind.
supposed
That's
to be.
that's how they get. That's how they get control of your mind.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That's how it was.
Do you
Not
think
anymore.
that? Do you think that? Like, have you tried therapy at some point? Did you? Is that something that you thought about doing to help you get through this? Because sometimes things
No,
manifest itself. You know.
yeah, but I since it didn't go far because it was just
Right.
he was trying to see how far he could get or how he could get close to me. And
Right.
I did not let that happen. Like I stopped it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, no, 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 this is not with me. It didn't affect me. Like it did affect me because I was almost 19 years old. Like I could not understand how an older guy will come up to me and try to like grab me or grope me or try to kiss me,
Yeah.
forcing me without me letting that happen or even causing it, because that's something else. Like women, when we are in these situations, they make you believe, or if you tell them no, they make you
Right.
believe like you provoked it, like you were the one who created the situation to let this happen, or to make believe that it was a possibility for this to
Right.
happen. You know, like they make you believe this, like it's your fault. Either you
Yeah.
were dressed provocative or you were acting you were provoking, you were being too like I didn't have this in my head. Like at 19, I had, I don't know, air in
Right.
my head. Like, I wasn't thinking that, I wasn't thinking, I didn't have that malicious thinking, like
Right.
trying to be central and trying to get the attention of the owner of the agency so he could book me or put me in a very special booking
Right.
table to get all these jobs, like, or become famous or a supermodel. Like, this didn't cross my mind. Like, I was just there to try to see if I could make it in the business.
Right.
But like, that didn't cross my mind. So for me, it did affect me and I went home to recover, but emotionally it did not affect me. Like I was like, for sure, this is not gonna happen to me ever again.
Right.
Like I will be so serious and I will be always I wasn't on the defensive. I wasn't on this attitude to be so defensive. Like, no, don't get near me. Don't, no, I was not. I was just like, things are very clear with me. Either they are or they're not. And
Right.
like, I would not let things that are going to make believe that this can lead to something else. No, like, no, I'm very clear. Like, yes or no. But in the business, it's crazy because in the business, I feel like I rejected everyone that was around the business. Like, I
Right.
just didn't want to be involved with anyone in the business for sure.
Do you think a
I
lot? Do you think a lot of the young models are like they're still going through that, and is depression a big thing in the model industry with the young girls?
Yeah, I have been through depression, but it's for personal things. I
Right.
mean, you at some point, I was married at 21. I was married. You actually,
Yeah.
Robert, made my
Yeah.
husband
Yeah.
back
Of
in the time.
course.
That's
Yes.
how we actually met. We
Yes.
were
And then
neighbors.
yeah.
Um, and you feel like your life is based on the way you look. You're supposed
Right.
to look certain way because that gives you validation for work or at home or the way you are perceived socially. Like you feel like all this is the most important, the way you look. And
Right.
yeah, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. You diet and you work out and you don't drink, which is good. uh, I was going home right after a job. I never hung out. I never went to this after party after a job. Like I was always so focused. Maybe
Right.
that had a lot of grounding to do. My relationship and the fact that I was married at 21, that was super serious. All that I cared for was to go home, work, make my money, and go home. Or if I was somewhere else, far from home, I will go straight to my hotel room and I will sleep. And the next day I will catch my flight and go home. I always wanted to go home. Like I never cared for what's after the job or
Right.
what influences I can pull or who can I become friends with so I can get more work. But after all this, your my relationship failed.
Right.
And this person made me believe that I actually wasn't paying attention to him, that it was my fault that he cheated on me. And I was like, you know what?
Right.
I've been trying to make our relationship perfect. I've been trying to make money to look good. He had children from his previous relationship. I was raising
Right.
his children. I was having the perfect, picture perfect house. I was always taking care of when do you arrive? I'll pick you up. You pick me up. Like I thought that I was living this perfect life. And all of a sudden I get cheated on. It was a big uh betrayal. And like I felt like my world was ending. I was like, how come I feel like I have this perfect life? I try to act perfect. I try to do right. I try to be correct in everything. And this happens to me. It's like I don't deserve this. I'm just gonna
Right.
live. I'm just gonna live.
Right.
Living is not, oh, I'm going out to party and I'm drinking and I'm passing out and I'm not showing up for work. I'm gonna be lazy. No, for me, living was like I can say no. I am not gonna live for somebody else. I can eat a chocolate cake. I can eat pizza and not care because I'm not gonna get fat overnight. Like
Right.
crazy thing that because I started in this industry since so young that when you become an adult, it's like it's not so bad. This
Right.
isn't so bad. Like I can eat whatever I want, not constantly because I won't be in the size that they require me to be.
Right.
But but it was like it's not bad. I'm not going to hell for that. I'm
Right.
not being such a bad person. It's like you create all these conditions to be perfect and you really aren't. And then I fall in depression. Like I I lost weight. I was I think I was at some point like 115 pounds and I am a big girl. Like I have
Right.
big bones. I'm tall. I'm 5'10". And when you are 52, 53 kilos for my height, I was skin and bones.
Right.
And my agents were like, you are losing weight all the time. I had acne. I didn't want to leave home. I wasn't sleeping at all. I was afraid of taking any help or any
Right.
medicine to sleep. I was so afraid of this because I had heard the worst stories. Like if you start drinking this to sleep, you will be hooked forever. Or you'll be like super slow the next day, and the side effects are like super hardcore. And I was just riding riding this wave naturally. I would not sleep. I stopped drinking tea because I wasn't even drinking coffee. And I guess at some point when I said, life isn't so bad, I just can get through this. But I went into a big, big depression. I didn't call my friends back. I wasn't socializing a lot, and I'm a very social person. I wasn't
Right.
picking up the phone. I didn't. I just wanted to be home, close doors. I didn't want to get up. I don't know. I feel like one day I just woke up and said, you know what, this has to be over, and that was it. This has to be over. And starting that day, I said, I need to try to make the life as normal as possible because I'm not sick. I'm okay.
Right.
I'll get through this. I didn't take any medicine whatsoever. I only took chamomile at night to be able to
Right.
sleep, to help me sleep. So I recovered my sleep again. But it was naturally that I got through this. Like I did not have any help or I didn't force myself to get better through anything chemical or without any doctor, like
Right.
doctor. Like I took herbs. I don't know, mint tea at night or chamomile,
Ah,
things
that
like
helps
this.
you. That helps you.
Yeah. And I found out like acupuncture relaxed me. So I started, you know, experiencing acupuncture and that helped me a lot.
Oh
That's how
wow.
like I balanced my life again to recover. Mhm.
Wow. Misty, Misty's our therapist. Misty, what are your thoughts on
Misty,
she's the first
talk to
Misty, she's the first one that I've ever heard out of all of our interviews, all of our podcasts that used acupuncture. No one's ever used that. People the Bible, some people therapy, everybody has their thing. You're the first one that did something physical to your body in terms
oof.
of like,
Till this day, I now live in Madrid, Spain, and I
right,
haven't found a trusted acupuncturist. But when I was living in Mexico up until a year and a half ago, I went to I found this amazing acupuncturist, and I could be so stressed out. I had neck pain. I did not sleep for certain hours. And I went to acupuncture, and again, my life balanced out completely. I was
Wow.
okay. I was sleeping well. I was in a great mood. I wasn't stressed. I didn't have my neck jacked up. I
Right.
could move again. I could do my Pilates with no pain. I was in a good posture doing my yoga. Acupuncture for me has done wonders. It's like magical for me. It works magically on my
Wow.
body.
What are your thoughts, Misty?
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. I think everybody has different, and I think this is part of your self-discovery process, is finding the
Uh-huh.
things that work for you. So one of the things that's coming to mind, since you haven't found your acupuncturist yet, have you ever tried something called EFT, emotional freedom technique, or sometimes it's called tapping?
No,
Have you ever tried that?
no, I had never heard of it actually.
I'm sharing that because it works with, so it's not, like acupuncture, you go to somebody, they put the little needles, but they work in
Uh-huh.
your meridian, like your energy points, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, EFT is you're literally like tapping on meridian points that are rooted in what acupuncturists use to, yes, there's a whole system to it. I'm actually getting certified in it right now, but
Oh,
it
sounds
might,
interesting.
you can do it yourself and you might find it not, maybe it won't have the exact same benefits, but you may find it interesting because you can do it yourself and you're working with the same energy points and balancing them out, very similar to acupuncture because you're working through the same meridian points.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's right. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna do some research on it because it,
Yeah.
it
Google
is
it.
very
I'll
interesting.
send you some information through Robert. I can get your information if you want and send it to you,
Yes,
but
I
That's
it's
would
really
love
awesome.
to.
cool. It's really, really cool. And you feel really weird when you're doing it at first because you're literally just tapping on different points of your body. And you say things like, if I want to relax or meditate or I want to let go of something that just frustrated me or whatever it is, right? Or you're having
Okay.
like a lot of anxiety around something or you want to just whatever. Like, you just, you tap through it and you're talking through the different things as you're just going through your body. And it's, to me personally, I love, not everyone vibes with it. I really like it. I think it really helps me calm down. Sometimes when I can't sleep in the middle of the night, I'll go through the tapping points and it kind of helps me settle my body. So anyhow, that was just one thought of many that I've
I
had
like
during
that.
the
I
conversation.
I I will do a research on this because it is very interesting. Now
Yeah.
I don't have the right person to this acupuncture on me, but I will find it. It's crazy because somehow I always say, and people looks at me like I'm crazy. Now people hears more and more of people that believes in the universe. And
Right.
seriously, the universe somehow makes you find the way where you're supposed to go, and the way
Yeah.
and the timing is right for that to happen. I totally believe that. And I will find the right acupuncturist at some point. Like I
You
never
will.
force things. I never force things. Like it took me like good 6 7 months until I found a Pilates studio that I like, that I vibed with, that I like the environment. I like the instructors. I know it sounds silly, but to me it's very important. Like yoga as well. Like when I lost my parents in less than 2 years, both of them. And when my dad
Sorry to hear
passed,
that, Penelope. Sorry to hear that.
Yes.
yeah, but this is 2016, and then my dad in the beginnings of 2018.
Wow.
That I think that was so hard. I was having neck pain. I think that was the hardest thing I ever lived. And I said, I need to get out of this sadness. I don't want to take anything. I guess I gotta have to go to therapy. I went to psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist prescribed me a bunch of pills. And he said,
Right.
well, if you have a panic attack, because I started knowing what panic attacks were, if you're having a panic attack, you take this. If you feel like you cry all day and you never get better, this is gonna, it's like they mute
Yeah,
your,
they mute you. Yeah.
it mutes you from wanting to cry all day. And I'm like, how is that good? It's like, you're supposed to feel things, no? It's
Yeah.
like they mute your feelings. I was like, how's this supposed to be good? But I took the prescription and I never took it. It only helped me because I wasn't sleeping again. It was
Mm.
when, and when I don't sleep, I lose weight. Like I get so skinny. I eat all kinds of things. Robert can be my witness. I eat very healthy, but I eat all kinds of things and I like
Yeah.
to eat. I enjoy eating good food.
Yeah.
And even though as I'm not working as I used to, because I lived from being a size zero, now I'm a size four, and I'm still perfectly healthy. I was obsessed with eating, very clean, this, that, and the other. Today, if I don't eat a very well balanced diet, I start losing weight and I don't look good. I look like I'm sick because I exercise constantly and I
Right.
burn through my calories like this. It's a good problem to have, but I cannot let this happen.
Right.
I cannot let this happen. It's a good problem to have.
Right.
So at this point, I needed to sleep because I was going through my calories faster. I wasn't resting, and I felt like I was going to go into like a total breakdown because your brain is active all day, all night, and it was the worst time in my life. I went through insomnia for like 6 months, and I did ask the doctor, I need something to help me to sleep. I don't want to be completely knocked out. I just want to something to help me, maybe feel a little sleepy so I can relax and try to sleep. And he did help me. I got something prescribed and I took half of it. And he helped me for like 30 days. And after 30 days, I was back on my sleeping schedule, like no problem. And
Right.
I always have this pill. Like I know that if I can sleep, I can you know, have a pill and it will help me through it. But I wasn't hooked on it. Like what I'm saying is I'm so afraid to be hooked on something. It's
Right.
like, okay, you're solving this problem, but you're getting hooked on another problem. And that I am just so careful with. So careful. Always have. Like I never tried anything that like I never tried any drug in my life. I never did. And I got off for all kinds of stuff because I was
Right.
in parties and you get off for everything. I don't know if it's to have fun or to get your hooked or they can become your supplier. I don't know because I never went into this dark
Yeah.
world.
Right.
But I don't know what it is to be hooked on something, like for you to need something. I don't know what it is. And I never want to know. And every time I ask for help to a doctor, I'm like, I don't want this to make me want more of this to be
Right.
able to live. I am very careful with this. And after this, I said, I'm taking a long break. I don't want to work. I don't want to fly. I want to be home with my husband today. And he helped me through this because he said, look, there's nothing you can do. They're not here. Yes, but I'm an orphan now. He's like, I'm an orphan too. And I'm okay. You have to
Right.
get through this. You have to get to sleep again and don't stop eating, please. Because if you don't eat and you don't sleep, you really are going to get sick. And and I was okay. After that, I think that I understood so many important things in life, so many important. And when the COVID came, everybody had to be in lockdown, and everybody was suffering of. They were having mental breakdowns. They lost their job. They lost someone they cared for.
Yeah.
The world was in crisis.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me look around. My mom and my dad are the most precious things. They're no longer here. I don't have to worry about them. I don't have any children. So I'm not responsible for being if something happens to me. I have two
Right.
dogs. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. I have a good life. So whatever the universe has for me, it will be.
Right.
And I got COVID in the beginning. It was January 2020. Me and my husband were in San Francisco, traveling in a motorcycle down south. And we went home back to Mexico City. We were super sick. We had no idea. And we were seeing people because we were maybe the patient zero in Mexico City. And we had
Yeah.
no idea. Yeah. And we heard that Chinese were dying. And we were like, oh, because they eat bats. And we didn't know what the symptoms were. Because America, this side of the world, didn't know what was happening with the Chinese. They were, blocking the news.
Right.
And then when everybody had to go on lockdown and everybody was going crazy because they couldn't leave their place, what's better than being at home? There's nothing better than being at home for me.
Right. For
My
me too.
home,
For me
for
too.
me, my home is my sacred place. It's like my six-star hotel, my sanctuary, my place to sleep, to eat well, to rest, to do yoga,
Right.
to lay in the sun. For me, my home is the best. Always, it has been. And I was like, it's not so bad that you have to stay at home. This is great.
Right.
Not
You
even
look
if
at
you
the
want to
positive.
leave.
You
Yeah,
you
I
stayed
always,
positive.
always, I always did. And I feel that the more you focus on the good things you have, it will it will outweigh the bad.
Yes.
It will always outweigh the bad.
Yes.
People says the answer to everything is love. No, because if you love yourself, yes, it's the most important thing. If you are good with yourself, if you are happy with yourself, but if you're at peace mentally, physically, because you don't have an illness, I think that's the base. And you have to always count your blessings. Like, okay, I broke my arm, but I still have an arm, but everything else is okay. So this
Right.
will recover, and then maybe I will break my ankle, but I still have an ankle. I still can walk. You know what I mean? Like I always have a positive picture in my head, a positive
Right.
movie always happening. And I never, like I said, that situation when I was 18, 19 years old, it didn't affect me because I was like, what's the worst? I didn't sign with that agency. I went
Right.
back home. I went to Miami. I made a life in Miami and it was amazing. So it did not affect me in a level that I resented it, that I needed to go to therapy. Like I have gone to therapy. Like when I told you, I lost my mom and then my dad really
Right.
very, very soon after. I needed therapy back then. And they just said, if you feel like you want to cry, you take this. And I'm like,
Right.
isn't that helping? Maybe I
Right.
was in the wrong therapy. And then I
Did you
started
make
seeing
did you make
everything.
that decision on your own to go get there to go to the psychiatrist, or did someone tell you to do that?
No, I needed to go see the psychiatrist because obviously in the US, we need a prescription
Right.
to get, certain things. And not only a prescription, you need help from someone that knows how these medicines can help you. And I
Right.
had no idea how could I get something that would help me to sleep or
Right.
to induce my sleep
Right.
because I was seriously going out of control without being able to sleep.
So
That really affected
your depression caused you to not sleep.
me. Oof, it was horrible.
Some people's depressions cause them to sleep all day and they can't even
Yeah.
get up. So it's funny how everybody reacts to different emotions differently or different, chemical imbalances. You had something traumatic that happened. You lost the two people that meant the world to you. And now all of a sudden you can't sleep. And to not sleep is torture in itself.
It's seriously the worst torture. I don't
Yeah.
know what can be worse than not being able to sleep.
Yeah. Is
It's
bad.
like I do not wish this to anyone. Then I go, yes, maybe it was some enemy, and I go, no, they're
Yeah.
not that important. No, they're not that important to wish them this. Like, it's horrible not to be able to sleep. It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. I've never you're the again. I've never I listened to your story and acupuncture helped. You went through a period of where you took some pills to help you get to sleep, to help you get back to a place where you can get healthy again and get your weight back. And then the other thing I heard you say is really a positive mindset, like just having this positive mindset about everything that happens to you. Find the positive.
Always,
You
always.
know,
It's really helpful. It's really helpful.
do you ever come? Are you at the point now with your age and your experience that when you come in contact with young models,
Oh, I
that you,
always give
you
them
start
advice,
giving
even
them
if
some
they don't.
advice?
Yeah, they don't ask. I'm just started. I just start to give it away. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah,
you're
come
not.
sit here. Come sit over here
It's
in
like
my office.
you haven't asked for any advice, but let me tell you this: if I would
Right.
have known, or if I would have ever run into a model like me right now,
Right.
I would have had like half of the way paved for me to know
Yeah.
so many things.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to Paris, do this. If you go to Milan, stay this much. You don't need to stay there for that long. It's too expensive. If you go, it's where you're the market you're
You
gonna
got
make the
it.
most money is New York. Try
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
save as much money. Go to New York, then save money. Don't spend your money. Probably you're gonna end up maybe
Yeah.
like I give them so much advice, and they're like
That is model
crazy,
wisdom. That is model age of
and they're like
wisdom.
she's crazy, and then I'm like, look, I'm 48, and they go, no.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm 48 and I haven't done any plastic surgery in my face. Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. That's
Not yet.
awesome. That's that's from managing your emotions. That's from managing your stress. That's from managing, that's why you don't have the wear and tear on your face. You've said you healthy and you started this journey. You started this journey as a young girl in an industry that really looks at you for your physical outlook, but early I heard, early on in your career, I hear you talk about, Pilates and doing this and you did all these things and you discovered that on your own.
Yeah.
And
I I if I can look back and say, yeah, what I always ate really well. I always
yeah,
ate really well. I would not walk into a fast food chain. I don't like this kind of food. I never have. Yeah, I can cheat here and there. Like you can have some pizza or I can have some pasta, but like good calories. Like when the calories are worth it. I don't need just because I need to eat or whatever to get the eating out of the way. No, I like to eat good food. Like I'd
right,
rather to spend more on food than to spend in a better hotel. Like I like to eat well. Like if
right,
I eat well, everything else will sort out. Like if they say, okay, so we're gonna put you in this hotel and we're gonna go eat here and we're gonna bring you McDonald's for lunch. And I'm like, no, 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 give me a cheaper hotel and you feed me well.
right,
I'm talking about clients when they're like, okay, so you can stay at the Four Seasons. Like you're gonna have McDonald's for lunch, and I'm like, no, put me in a holiday season and let me eat right. I do not want to eat like somebody that is in a rush. That's somebody that doesn't deserve to be fed. I deserve to be fed. I'm working hard.
Misty, remember the chef that we interviewed?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
What
tell,
what did the chef say?
tell her, Misty.
I mean, she said, I mean, so many wonderful things, but it was, for her, food is it's an experience, it's a lifestyle, it's part of
Yeah,
you, right? Like what you eat becomes part of you. That was one of the big things that she shared. And so she's so big on being really conscious of what she's
yes.
she's eating because it's literally being absorbed into her body.
Food is your
Exactly.
medicine. Food is your
And
medicine.
food is your medicine. That was the message. Yes.
Exactly. And that's why I feel like I look like this at 48 because I have been eating correctly my whole life. And
Yeah,
I feel like I never experienced alcohol. Experience because I didn't know. I mean, yeah, I had a sip of wine, I had a sip of champagne, but I never experienced with alcohol after 30 years old. Like at 30
right,
years old was like, okay, so I'm gonna drink whiskey. Oof, I don't like whiskey. I'm gonna have vodka. Oh, the vodka is not good for me. Like I sweat all night. My heart racing. Like I started having all
races
this.
too.
Huh?
My
What?
heart races when I drink alcohol, so I stop.
So I
Oh,
have
okay. Wow.
a good
Yeah,
wine. I have good wine, and I tasted good tequila. And good tequila is not like you see in spring breakers going, "Wow, tequila shots." No, you have a good tequila after dinner. You just have a nice conversation, and next day you don't have a headache because it's good tequila. You don't drink it for fun. You drink it because you want to enjoy it. Living in Mexico, I
right.
learned a lot about tequila and mezcal. So that's when I say, okay, I want to have a nice drink. So I have a little bit of tequila. I have a little bit of mezcal, and it's not because I want to get drunk. No, I just like to enjoy the taste and the feeling. But like I'm saying, it was after 30 that I started. Like, I don't know if I started drinking at 18, what my skin would look like, like that
Right.
has a lot to do. It's like what you put in your body is your medicine. Like, that's it determines how would you will look in the future. My friends that maybe they weren't drinking every afternoon or every weekend, but they they were drinking once in a while when they were in college and I was working. They were in college having fun and I was working. I don't know, in Paris or Milan or in Miami or in New York, and they were having fun and they stayed having fun. Now they have children, like life has been very different for my friends and I. And their skin is different. I also never go in the sun. My
It's
face
the
never goes in the
children.
sun.
It's the children. They give you all wrinkles. I'm just kidding.
They say that it's the
Little
biggest
bit
love.
children.
My friends say it's the biggest love, but it's the non-stop worrying until the day you die.
Yeah.
They will make you have spots in your face, wrinkles in your face. We have gray hair sooner than what you think because they make you worry all day. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, that doesn't sound very romantic. Doesn't
Right.
feel very romantic.
You look crazy on the outside. Sometimes you feel crazy on the inside, but it is more love than you will ever
It's true.
possibly know.
It's true. They
That's
say
the trade-off,
it's
I
the
guess.
biggest love. It's the biggest love. It's the biggest love, but it's the non-stop worrying that
Yeah.
makes you, yeah, age. That's what they say.
I
I,
agree.
I, I, I guess I just didn't have the time. The time wasn't right, I guess, because I was married when I was, like I said, 21. I got divorced at 29. And I met my actual husband 10 years ago. Yeah, and I wanted to have children. I did. But he was like, look, if I met you 5 years ago, I would have gone for a child. But right now, he was older. He's older than me. And he said, right now, I don't want to start from zero. Like, now is the time when I'm ready to like travel the world. I met the woman of my life and I don't want to grab a suitcase and go without you because you were with the baby. Like, I do not agree with having a child and leaving it with the nanny. Like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, oh, it's got a point. And
Yeah.
we decided that we weren't going to have children.
But that's a great choice too. I mean, really, it's whatever aligns for you. And one thing as we're coming close to an hour, I think already. So, but one thing that, I learned so much from you is kind of this idea of accepting what is and just being true to yourself, right? It sounds like
Yeah.
those are two things that you have always excelled in from a young age. I think one of the reasons you were able to set those boundaries is because you are so grounded in who you are and you
Yeah.
believe in being true, like you live by being true to yourself, and that's what seems to bring you peace. And I really
It
admire
brings me
that.
peace.
And I love this
Yeah,
kind of go with the flow, allow the universe to bring what will be, accept things as they are, and be grateful for things as they are.
exactly. Exactly.
And I think that those are some really amazing takeaways that everybody will benefit from. So thank you for sharing those. I
Oh,
know one
Miss,
thing.
it's my pleasure. I I I have to say I'm sorry because I needed to get this out of the way. And now look, I'm right here. The supermarket is right there. I have to run like a mad person and put everything in the
You're
supermarket.
great. You're
Yes, well, we have
great.
really
No worries.
appreciated your time. If somebody wanted to connect with you, I know I think you're on Instagram and on some
Yeah,
social
I am.
media. Where can people find you?
At Penelope Sosa official. That's my
I love
Instagram.
it.
It's my Threads account, and I have Twitter, which now is X. It's Penelope Sosa, like
I
this.
love it. All right,
I
awesome. Thank
I
you. Well, you're gonna get definitely a few follows just for me alone. I'm sure you're gonna get many more
Yes.
on this show.
thank
We
you.
want to thank you for your time. Remind everybody if you are struggling and you are in a mental health crisis, there's a 988 suicide prevention line. It is completely free, completely confidential. Of course, if you're in an emergency, dial 911. And if you'd like to continue to help us advocate for mental health and wellness in our mission of suicide prevention in teens, and I think in a broader audience as well, Robert, right? As time goes on,
Yes.
we're kind of in the business of helping everybody. Check out kennedykids.org. We have lots of ways for you to get involved. There's also an awesome resources tab there. So maybe if you're looking for some resources, you want to explore some things for your own mental health or for someone that you love, there's a lot of information there that we have put together for you. And also, of course, the easiest thing you can do is like, share, subscribe, review, and help us get these messages out there. So Penelope, thank you again for your time. It's been lovely
Thank you,
having
Misty.
you. We really appreciate you making the time during this very busy time of year to speak with us
It
and
is.
share your story and being so
It was my
transparent.
pleasure. I really
Thank
didn't
you.
know that I was going to enjoy this conversation as much.
And
I
you
enjoyed
love it.
I enjoyed spending time with you guys. Robert, you
Love
know,
you, love you,
you are in
love
my
you.
heart. I love
Thank
you. You know, you're in my
Thank you,
heart.
Penelope. Thank you so much.
got
And good luck. God bless you.
So now I gotta
Bye-bye.
get mine.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays, guys.